Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Did-a-dun, did-a-dun, let it be. Hello, and today we are doing predictions for Matchday number 21 of the 2020 to 21 Premier League season. That was the song of the weekend, Let It Be by the Beatles, and the theme of the week is going to be chocolate. That's right, Ferrero Rochers and Dairy Milk Caramel. Get them out because it's that weekend. And the colour of the week, let's go with light blue. But before we get into any predictions, and before we reflect on anything of last week, one thing to say is I've updated the Predictions League and it's looking pretty juicy indeed. Now, if you'd have said that at this point in the season we've had 4 competitors, I'd have been like, yeah, not bad, not bad. But I know we can get better, so comment your score predictions for the games down below and let me tell you those games so you can do just that. So the fixtures to predict, we have Everton versus Newcastle, Palace versus Wolves, Man City versus Sheffield United, West Brom versus Fulham, Arsenal Man United, Southampton Villa, Chelsea Burnley, Leicester Leeds, West Ham Liverpool, and Brighton against Spurs. So those are the games to do. Let's get cracking with this video. And the Predictions League is as follows. So with a very respectable score last week of 21 points, it is a score by Douglas, which means you are on 352 points. In last place, though, in the Predictions League, with still a total of 8 points. In 4th place, it's Jack. And then in 3rd, with 9 points, it's Nathan H. And in 2nd is Douglas, with 352 points. Pretty good week for you last week, to be fair. And I think it was a bad week for some people because there were so many shocks. Manchester United losing to Sheffield United, and, of all things, it was a very, very good point for Everton, I should say, against Leicester. A lot of people backed Leicester in that game. And also, it was a very surprising game at Turf Moor, Burnley. What a comeback to beat Aston Villa. So that was last week. And in terms of that, how did I score last week? I got 19 points. You love to see it. Lovely stuff. It really is nice. And that does mean, of course, that I lead the Predictions League. But it's not by much. It could be bridged back, in my opinion. But right now, the gap is sitting at 52 points. Because in first, I have 404. Not too bad at all. So let's get into this week. And let's get into the first game. And that first game is, of course, going to be between Everton and Newcastle United. Now, it's actually quite a tough one to call this one. At Goodison Park. Now, there have been a huge 17 goals in the last 5 meetings between these two sides. So they're often goal fests. But the way Newcastle are playing this season, I've got a bad feeling for them that it's going to be goal fests only for Everton. Although Newcastle might pick back a late consolation because we know how shaky Jordan Pickford can be. And he showed that in the game against Leicester City. So I'm going to go for Everton 4. I think they could be absolutely, having the jackpot in the forward line with that Newcastle defence. Newcastle 1. So the first goal of the weekend I think will be scored by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And then Newcastle equalise through Callum Wilson. And then Everton get back ahead. And who do I reckon was going to get the goal this time? Well, I'm actually going to say that it is indeed going to be the man that is known by the name of James Rodriguez. And then the third goal for Everton, I predict will be scored by the defender that goes by the name of, who is it? Yerry Mina. And finally, the fourth goal, I think I've said, so have I said 4 or 3? Sorry, no. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, then Rodriguez, then Mina, and then the fourth goal is going to be Calvert-Lewin again. Because he's lethal, and he always scores against Newcastle. And Newcastle have just really struggled this season, it's got to be said. I don't think there's a chance for them in this game. Simple as that. Now we move on to Chelsea against Burnley. Now, it's a big game for Thomas Tuchel. He'll want to respond and he'll want to get the win for after that 0-0 draw with Wolves. Now, Chelsea, I think, are going to get the better of Burnley at Stamford Bridge. Burnley have been pretty good this season, and 2 wins now against Liverpool and Villa is very impressive. But I think Chelsea at home will be the comfortable side. That Liverpool result might have been a bit of a fluke, and away from home, I just don't think Burnley have the firepower they need. But Turf Moor, happy place, you know what they say. But I'm going to go with Chelsea to win this one by 3-1. You know what I've just realised? I said 4-1 in the Everton game, but that's not what I'm going for. So I need to actually rewind. I need to get my head back in the game. I think it is going to be a clean sheet for Everton. And I think Everton are going to win 3-0, not 4-1. Anyway, if it ends up being 4-1, then so be it, but hopefully not. So 3-0 to Everton with goals 2 from Calvert-Lewin and 1 from James Rodriguez. No goals or anything for Digne or any of the Everton defence, because they do whip in balls, but we'll see. And then we've got Chelsea-Burnley. I'm going to stick with 3-1. I think Burnley will score a goal in this, because Chelsea, defensively, they might get a clean sheet, but I think Burnley, they might get a little sneaky goal. And I think that Burnley actually will go ahead, because we've seen them beat Chelsea a few times, or at least get points with them in the past. I remember that absolute screamer from, was it Stephen Ward back in the 16-17 season on the opening day? Amazing stuff. But I think midfielder is going to get the goal for Burnley this time, and that's Dwight and McNeil. But then the goals for Chelsea, well, first of all, I think there will be a goal, let's say, I was going to say from Kurt Zouma, but he's not getting the game, so that would be a bit illogical. Let's say the first one is Thiago Silva, threat from set pieces. The second goal for Chelsea will be scored, and by the way, McNeil scores the first goal. The second goal for Chelsea will be scored by Timo Werner. He's got to get his confidence back eventually. And then the third and final goal of the game for the Blues will be scored by the winger, Christian Pulisic. Alright, now we've got a matchup that is between Palace and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, Palace obviously haven't had the best of records against Wolves. They did actually draw with Wolves in their Premier League match. They lost to them in the Premier League, in the FA Cup, I should say, for Palace. So Palace lost against Wolves. Adama Traore, absolute screamer. I remember that very well. But I do think that actually this is going to be, once again, Wolves getting the win, because Palace, they're not a great side to watch this season. Zaha is good, but, maybe the likes of Jean-Philippe Mateta, when he's coming into the team, will actually score a lot of goals. But now, I don't see it. And I think Wolves, they're a very unfortunate side of the way that injuries have plagued them this season. And, Wolves have beaten the Eagles in the FA Cup and Premier League already. So I think that they will keep that winning feeling going. And I'm going to say Palace 1, Wolves 2. And first of all, the goal scorer, Palace is just hard to call, but I'm going to say that it shall be none other than the man that is going by the name of, who is that man? Just trying to remember. It is, actually, I tell you what, I said that, but let's go for Mateta. Why not? He might score, you never know. Jean-Philippe Mateta, and then Wolves get 2 goals themselves, and those goals will come, I've got a sneaky feeling, Kilman from a set piece. So I'll go Max Kilman. And then the second goal for Wolves, let's say it's going to be from the winger, Daniel Podence. I'm not sure if he's playing. If he isn't, then it's going to be Neto, but yeah. Let's move on to Man City against Sheffield United at the Etihad Stadium. Now, I would have fancied De Bruyne to get lots of goals in this game if he was available, but he's not. We know that. And Man City have still actually done well to score goals without him. Gundogan is in amazing form. Sterling got a really good couple of goals, or goal against West Brom. And I do think this Sheffield United team, yes, they beat Man United, and that was an amazing result. Full credit to them, the way they battled and really showed the spirit to see that out. But I think it's a case in this game of just how many goals City will score against the Blades, because Man City are pretty hard to beat this season. So we'll go for a prediction of Manchester City 2, Sheffield United 0. I just think that Sheffield United will have the defensive resistance, but it won't be enough to stop them losing. And the goals for Manchester City come from the mentioned Ilkay Gundogan. And then the second goal, I mean, I could say, yeah, let's say a defender scores the goal and it's Ruben Diaz. Why not? All right, let's move on to the next one. And I've got a feeling Cancelo, the form Cancelo's been in, he's going to get an assist, isn't he? Let's move on very swiftly to the game that is between, of course, it's... where's it gone? Huh? I'm a little bit confused. Oh yeah, West Brom Fulham. West Brom Fulham. Now this is not an amazing game. Let's not forget that. It's not a great game. It could easily finish 0-0. I could see it happening with, Areola playing really well on the game against Brighton. And, I think that West Brom, defensively, they're okay at times. They have been leaking goals, obviously. They've had more goals scored from Pereira recently, but Johnson does make a few saves when he wants. Just, does he do it every week? No. This is such a relegation scrap, isn't it? I think it's a bigger game for West Brom, though, than it is Fulham, because they have been poor. And Fulham, at least with Fulham, you can see a bit of fight. They're going to get draws. West Brom are losing a lot of games, and especially at home, they've conceded far too many. So they'll want to shut up shop here, but I just don't think they will be able to. I think Fulham will get the victory. And look, this relegation 6-pointer could swing either way, but I fancy a Fulham win, and it will be West Brom 1, Fulham 2. And goal scorers, I think Callum Robinson will open the scoring for West Bromwich Albion. And then, I don't know, the rest of the game is hard to call with this one because they're both quite defensive sides, but maybe we could see another goal for Ademola Lookman. And I've got a feeling West Brom will actually get a penalty and they'll miss it. And it will be a miss from the forward Carlin Grant, saved by Areola. But then it's ultimately not even a problem for Fulham because they save the penalty and they go and win the game. Just to add insult to injury. And don't forget the set piece prowess of Semi Ajayi. But I think the set piece will work for Fulham and they'll get a goal through the defender that goes by the name of Adarabioyo, if that's how you pronounce it, their centre-back. Now we've got a game between Arsenal and Manchester United. The game of the weekend, that's for sure. It's a nice top 6 clash that we'll be looking forward to. I hope that we'll get the right game because we know Man United this season have shut up shop in a lot of top 6 clashes. Chelsea 0-0, Man City 0-0, Liverpool 0-0. Let's not have another one. Come on, let's have a bit of Saturday night fever, a bit of Saturday night entertainment on Sky Sports Premier League. Let's get some goals here. I think Arsenal-Man United is a very interesting rivalry. It's been usually the ones to look out for in the Premier League calendar. But it's a bit of an odd thing to see the Gunners being so far behind Manchester United because it's only this season that Manchester United have really stepped it up a gear. And Arsenal haven't been as bad as last season, but even then, in comparison to United, they have been slightly worse. Now, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's penalty was obviously the decisive moment in the reverse fixture to seal all 3 points in a pretty poor game. Let's hope it's better at the Emirates. But that was in November, and that was a massive result, really, for Mikel Arteta's team to stop the rot. And Arteta has come out and said that he wants his team to get more consistency. And obviously Aubameyang missed the game last time to personal reasons. We don't know if he's going to be back, but Arsenal need some more goals, and I think Lacazette could provide it. So I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will definitely want his revenge. Will he get it? I think he will. I'm going to say Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3. First of all, a goal from Alexander-Lacazette, and then a goal from Bukayo Saka as Arsenal race into a 2-0 lead. But goals from Bruno Fernandes from the penalty spot, and then also a goal that is scored by, let's say, I don't know, who's going to score for Man United? Let's say Harry Maguire. He's got the set piece threat, we know that. And then finally, the winner, I think it's the winner, yeah, for Manchester United. Ooh, tough one, but I'm going to go with Paul Pogba. He's been on good form. Let's go with that. And that is my 3-2 prediction. I mean, the Gunners, to be fair, are on a 5-match Premier League unbeaten run versus the Red Devils, so I could be proven wrong, but I'm going with Man United. Now it's Southampton against Aston Villa. This could be a good game as well, and it's a 7-goal thriller at Villa Park in the reverse fixture, so, you know, that's pretty amazing. That hopefully it has the wow factor as well here, but I've got a feeling Villa will get the win because, actually no, do I? No, I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to say Southampton 1, Aston Villa 1. I think Villa, you know, they really will be thinking, how did they lose that Burnley game? But they still have signs to be encouraged. They played well at times, and, you know, Matt Targett is getting so many assists for that team. So I think he's going to do it again for the Villains. But who is going to get the goal for the away side, Aston Villa? I'm going to go for Bertrand Traore. I think he's probably due another goal. And then Southampton equalise. Now, it's between probably the most likely to score, Che Adams, and possibly even someone like, I don't know, Danny Ings. Is he back from injury? We'll go with Che Adams, though, to make it 1-1, and that's how the game finishes. And then we've got Brighton versus Spurs. This is obviously an interesting one with the idea that they haven't got Kane. Kane is out for 2 to 3 weeks. I don't think it will mean that they don't win this game, though. I think Spurs will still win comfortably. Now, I could easily go with a Brighton win. I could easily go with a Brighton draw in this game. And, you know, Aaron Connolly, I always remember last season, did absolute bits against Spurs in this fixture. And he could easily do it again, but I don't think so. I think Brighton, going forward, they are struggling for goals. They've got a few decent results, to be fair, against Leeds. And obviously they got the very good result against Man City. And I don't think that... I don't know. I'm going to go for... No, I'm going to go for a Spurs win, like I said. 4-0. It's a very harsh one there, but I think it has to be done. I say the good result against Man City. They did lose that, but they held them out for a long time. I don't think they'll hold Spurs out for a long time here, though. Even though Brighton did shock Spurs, as I mentioned, with Connolly doing the bits, 3-0 at the Amex in 2019. But I'm going to say Brighton 0, Spurs 4, and the first goal of the game, I'm going to go for, it's going to be, who is it? Oh, it's going to be, it's not going to be Eric Lamela, he's injured. It's going to be Sergio Reguilon, the fullback, and then Moussa Sissoko. The next goal in the game comes from Lucas Moura. And the fourth, to add the gloss for Spurs, is a man that's been absolutely revolutionary this season. It's Tanguy Ndombele. Alright, now let's go for the game between Leicester and Leeds. This is another good game, it's got to be said. I think that both sides will be attacking, but with Leeds, they kind of do sacrifice their defence a little bit. So I think Leicester will get a comfortable 2-0 win here. And Leeds are always a threat under Bielsa, but I just think Leicester at home, it's going to be a win. They're so strong at the minute, are the Foxes, and, you know, I think it's going to be a comfortable one. So Leicester 2, Leeds 0, with goals scored by, let's say, Yuri Tielemans, the first one. And then the second one for the Foxes, we shall say it is going to be the defender that is known as the name Ricardo Pereira. Alright, now we've got the final game of the weekend. It is West Ham against Liverpool. Now, it's at the London Stadium, and I actually think, you know, this might be the hardest game of the weekend to predict, because Liverpool are still a bit of a wounded animal this season. They've done well to beat Spurs in the manner they did, but, you know, they are a bit iffy and a bit out of form. So West Ham could smell an opportunity here. I'm not saying West Ham will beat them, but it could be tighter than people think. I mean, in the past games, West Ham versus Liverpool has always seen goals. And I think it always, in this occasion, could be a really exciting one. So I mean, I probably jinxed it now. It's probably going to be a 0-0, but hopefully not. And I'm going to say it's going to be West Ham 2, Liverpool 4. And I think that Mo Salah will have an absolute brilliant game. I'm going to say 2 goals from the Egyptian King. And then the second goal, the first goal for West Ham will be scored by the man that goes by the name, what a legend, it's McNeil Antonio. And so it's 2-1, so consolation, well, perhaps, but they get back in the game, West Ham, through that goal. And then West Ham do the unthinkable, get the equaliser, and that is through Thomas Souček, who's been on absolutely outstanding form. But then 2 goals from Liverpool make it count and make the game safe. And those goals come from, first of all, Gini Wijnaldum. And second of all, I reckon that for Liverpool, the man that gets the 4th is going to be... Who is it? It is Trent Alexander-Arnold. What a strike it was against Spurs on Thursday night. So that wraps up my predictions for matchday number 21 of this Premier League season. Get yours in the comment section down below and I shall give you a shout out in the next one. But yeah, it's been a good one. It's been a long one, but we've got there in the end, and hopefully we'll get there in the end with these predictions. I think it's going to be a good week for the predictions. I've just got this funny feeling. But let's hope we can beat our score of last week, 19. Thanks for watching, and it's 3 points for the correct result, 5 for the correct result and the goal difference, so say 2-0 and it was 3-1. And finally, 8 points for the correct scoreline. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.